There are three different theories in the broad mass society theory, those being the hypodermic needle theory, magic bullet theory, and the grand theory. Essentially, all of these theories place media as a dangerous drug and is harming today's Americans. Mass media can be anything from TV, magazines, to even billboards. Media is all around us, and can the average person protect themselves from its influences? Has today's media really become so corrupt? And is there any way for the media to make a rebound and become a staple of good versus evil? The idea that the average person is defenseless against media, in most cases, was denied versus supported. Both Steve Long and Tana Robertson agreed that it is a person's choice to believe everything that they see in media. Mr. Long stated, "I'm not going to say that they are completely defenseless. One issue is who chooses to watch media, and when so, you choose to watch media, and at some point, you have control over when you watch media. On the other hand, media is in so many different places, and it is going to come to us at more times during the day, and if we aren't careful, we will be bombarded by media in lots of places. We're not defenseless unless we give in to media, meaning it comes down to choosing over what we will consume and when we consume it." Tana Robertson had a similar idea on a person being defenseless to media, and that is, it's all around us, and there is really no way to turn ourselves off to media. There are ways that we can get around being defenseless against media, but it has to be a disciplined person choosing on their own. You have to avoid the person, and not many people choose to do that. Media will not go away. It is here and forever changing. The average person has to make a decision on whether they will let media control their lives or will they control the media. How has media come to where it is now? We used to be a society that didn't even want to see a married couple sleeping in the same bed, and now you will see an average sex scene on anything that you watch. How has our media been so corrupted? To the earlier generations, things of sex and profanity in today's media is completely bothersome. Tana, a theater professor at WT, being in her 30s, says the lengths today's media goes bothers her as well. As I have grown up, and I am in my 30s now, times have changed, and it has become something that you almost expect. Language has changed, and so students like me in their early 20s see how media is now, and they look at it like it's the social norm. Steve Long has a hard time believing that media is, in general, corrupted. Every aspect of our society is corrupted. So to point out media as a specific thing, they're more corrupted than our society. Media has a way, although it can tell us not what to think, but more or less what to think about. The corruption might not be what they feed us as much as what they don't see. Is the media corrupt? The answer is both yes and no. Media has changed over the years, and yes, has become more laid back when it comes to censoring things. On the other hand, to say that all media is corrupt would be wrong, because there are still those few people out there that still want to make a positive and uplifting product. The way that people are brought up has a big influence on what their morals they hold and the ones that they don't see as important. The question is, does media have a drug-like effect on today's people, and is it killing the morals parents have tried to instill in their children? Media can be looked at as an art form. So does art reflect the society that it sees, or does it contribute to the society as we see it? So when we are watching media, do we see ourselves, or do we see something foreign? Media is reflecting what we think is reality, and it can confuse us as to what is truly reality. What position does it then put a person in when they start getting confused by what they see in the media? The way media is constantly around us is always going back to it is a drug. People are constantly consuming. The smallest thing catches your attention and it draws you to it like a drug. When you are drawn to it and you constantly want it, you keep searching for something that you need, and the media is giving it to us, but they're giving us the wrong things. Media can be a drug if we choose to be it such. The media is something that we crave, and we're unhappy until we get that fix. It is when we get to this point that people need to reassess their choice of media intake and how much they're taking in. Can media take a comeback from being this so-called drug and killing force of people's morals to becoming a staple of a good foundation for the future? Tana feels that media can make a comeback, but she doesn't feel that it will ever happen. There has to be a strong movement with more than just one person, and they have to step out of their boundaries and their comfort zone and make a drastic change in the media, in their beliefs, and their morals. And I don't see that happening. You see, people who try to step out, such as like sports players or certain movie actors or whatever, they try, but if you have 5 in a crowd of 100, they're going to be pushed to the side. So media has come back in the past, and it's all about people in the media. We need Christian people in the media being the ones influencing it. In the 80s, we saw a difference in how TV shows were being made because more Christian people were making the decisions about how the show was being put together. Sadly, media has made another change, but in the wrong direction. So the key is we need more Christians in the media stream. So many of the questions I asked came down to the people it necessarily concerned. People have to decide if they're going to be influenced by media or if they're going to let media influence them. And in what way are they going to let them influence them? Is it going to be a positive way or is it going to be in a negative way? The media can be seen as a harmful drug and a killing force of morals. But we as people, and eventually parents, we have to choose what we will and will not consume. And in the end, it is all down to our own decision.